it was Black's idea. Black put us together like the Avengers. He was like, hey, you should join the
Just trying to
group.
see if everybody wanted to do it.
Hey, why you rotating your videos? That's me. I'm
I want it
tripping.
to look like real life.
That did just throw me off.
Yeah. Yeah, I just mirrored it so that everything on my left side is really on my left side, and everything on my right side is really on my right side.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, start off, Black.
That's
This
the
your
guy that
book,
always
man.
gotta watch his
Get
back.
to it. Because you know I got some thoughts, especially that chapter 3.
Go ahead then, host.
All right.
Lead the way.
Welcome. We are starting off. We're back after a little bit of a break and procrastination. Welcome, everybody. This is the Males Book Club's Books and Beyond Male Book Club. I'm your host, Hero, joined by Black and JB. Say what's up.
What's happening?
What's up, world?
And our objective today is to start. Our objective is to start off by looking at. This is great. We are reading the 50 Cent. What's his real name?
Hello.
Curtis Jackson.
Curtis Jackson. Also known as 50 Cent for the at least 10 years of his 50-year life. In his book called Hustle Smarter Not Harder. What's
50?
up? Huh?
He 50? I
He
thought you
50.
said it's 50-year-old life. He
He's
50?
50. Yeah, he's 50. So he's like 54.
He 48, man.
He 48.
Yeah.
Same shit.
Same
He's
shit,
somewhere
yeah.
in there. That's close to my
He
type.
close enough. Hey, yo, what up, Robotech?
Jay-Z is 54.
Jay-Z is 54. Yeah, you're right.
That nigga about to be. If he drop an album when he turns 60, bro.
They said he finna drop one this year.
He just dropped the last one a couple years ago. That's okay because he was spitting. I'm just saying at 60, if he drop a relevant, decent album, that's gonna be crazy. That's like LeBron, bro.
But is that not
Jay-Z is
expected? What
LeBron.
up, Crumb? That'd be expected.
Nah, man, you're not supposed to be scoring 20 points at year 21.
Hey, yeah, watching LeBron, like I don't know if people understand just what greatness he has provided us, but this is a very interesting book, especially coming from this perspective of I think he nailed the prologue. The prologue, he did a very good job explaining himself and what this book is for, because when you initially read this book, there's a big part of my mind that immediately went to is, why is this troll writing a book? Like, what relevant story does he have to tell us about his life or the personification of his life that would make someone collaborate? And it's really just reaching out into a genre. There's a whole media of people that 50 Cent will never be able to reach until he wrote this book. And it's kind of weird to say that because
You think so?
I honestly do, because I don't think there's a group of people that were listening to his music back in the early 2000s, and I don't think there's a group of people that watch his television or his filmography. So like,
I don't know about that.
I just don't
50
think he's.
You want to know why?
Bro,
You
50
want
is
to know
big
why I
as
say
fuck.
that?
Why?
You wanna know
I'm
why I say
listening.
that? Because he talked about it in the book, like with his signing to Interscope.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a whole genre of people that always know who gonna know who 50 Cent is. So like him just dropping a book, they like, oh, this 50 Cent. Like, let me check this out.
And I say
If,
no.
look, if you seen any of his like tour little vlogs and shit,
Mm-hmm.
you see them old ass white women at his concerts, bro. And young baby white people, like, bro, white people love 50, bro. 50 is like
That's why he's so
crazy
big. Like,
love.
who was saying that? Damn, I was listening to somebody recently. They was saying like, I was Country Wayne, and he was saying how people always talking about how he's so corny or whatever. But he like, if you only dealing with like the black segment, you gonna only be so big.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, you know. That's why he make as much as he make, because
Yeah,
everybody rock with him.
and that's the great point. The reason why I make that cross reference is because, and it's not to downplay him. It's honestly to acknowledge the fact of the matter. The biggest of our generation have done something very gracefully that many people don't get to do, which is cross the line of knowledge or cross the line of normalcy. You have to be popular enough for a common person to acknowledge you or recognize you for you to actually be big in this country. Like you can definitely make it to a certain extent with just your own people or a certain snippet, but when you truly cross into that other lane of commonality where the common man knows you, it's crazy. I went to the movies this weekend to go watch American Fiction, which is supposed to be this like lore dropping idea.
I love that movie.
That movie was so good, but the thing that was shocking about it was
Don't spoil it for me.
no spoilers, but more about the audience. When I bought the tickets at 6 p.m., the show was for 7 o'clock. I was the only one in the room. It was only me.
Yeah.
But when I showed up there, when I tell you that room was full of at least 50 people were in that room and they were all white, it really tells me like, yo, genre defining films like this, especially with this black majority cast and the message it had to show, you have to appeal to the white person in order to get them to help fund this, because in truth, that's how you do it. And that correlation really made more sense to me after reading like the first part of this book. So I really love how he handled that, how he talked about how he has to be able to transcend up, and this is a media he hasn't touched yet. And to be honest, besides the fact that, I got 4 songs on my iPod for him, I've never seen Power. If this is my reintroduction to 50 in a book form, this says a lot about him, about the growth he's at least experienced. So I applaud him definitely for that.
I feel like you're choosing to see it. I feel like you're choosing to see a growth.
He wrote that segment of people. He wrote that segment of people. That's why he's saying that.
I am those people. Exactly.
That's why he's saying it, so he can speak from that. I can feel that.
Like, but I also think you trying to see a growth that would like, because you only know 50 as a troll, which is not all he does. Like that, the crazy part about it is like Amari Harvick said it doing on the interview. He was saying how 50 only gonna say something to you if y'all got a beef or you say something to him. Mm-hmm. Normally it's not him to start it, but he just ain't gonna let it die down or.
He kind of said that in the book too, though.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Chapter 1 is about being fearless.
Facing your fears, though.
Facing them, and I like each chapter he builds sort of on his past and how he comes up, and he talks about a lot of things, and I can stretch between here and there, but a lot about what his fearless comes down to is he makes it very clear you're not going to probably equate 2 fears the same. He is a person who looks at his fear as a person who looked down a barrel of a gun and then has faced, bankruptcy. He's faced a bunch of fears and trials and tribulations. But he talks about being able to become fearless and what that means and how you can face your fears down. It starts even very subtly about him getting in shape after his physical therapy, after he was shot. The fear of going on a jog because he wanted to protect himself and what that meant, and having those people around him. So I don't know, Black, how do you take this first chapter?
Well, I fucking
great start.
So the way it's more as Marines talk like that. So fucking is like Barack Obama's for us.
Fuck.
So facing his fears, like for him, he had to, like he was on that run. He was taking his boy out with him with a gun, even though how he said he can be in the gym running on the treadmill, but to not look like he was scared for his life or whatever, to maintain that type of persona that he has in his hood, he made sure he was outside so he doesn't look like that fearful person, which is more dangerous than him just rehabbing at home. So I don't know, man. Fucking, I fuck with it. I ain't with the being I really was like, for that chapter, I can't really relate because I don't have no real fears. And I've said this before, but it's kind of like it's like a downfall for me because I was just, I'm just with whatever.
And I say so I read a book. It was called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And that's what this kind of chapter reminded me of. And even he kind of talked about something that kind of reminded me of me and Black when we was in class together. Like you'll have the people that if you just sitting there, you know the answer, you'll never raise your hand. But me and Black was always the person that had our hand up. So naturally, like people knew us for like this or that, or the teacher knew us for certain things and still got those relationships today just because like yeah, we get it wrong, but it's probably not wrong. You probably wrong.
Yeah, we wasn't wrong. I ain't gonna say that.
No, we weren't wrong, but it was just one of those things. So it kind of just took me back. But even like now, getting to some of the positions that I've been able to get into, like that's one of my biggest things. If I sit with something and I know that I need to say it or need to be heard, like I even have like an internal battle with myself. Like you finna say this, like you not finna like just sit here and nobody gonna say it, even if it's the last thing that's said in the meeting. So
remember on Boys in the Hood when she called Trey up, like you want to teach the class? He's like, yeah, I'll teach the class. Remember I did that shit in stat
that was
class?
Black. Yeah. Cause she was. I think y'all was arguing about you being wrong.
It was something.
Wrong
It was something that she was doing wrong. And I got out there and corrected her. She did not like that. And then like Jazz didn't want to understand or something too. So when I did it, like, oh okay, I understand it now.
Rubbed it in, double down. Damn, double down. The part that I and you made mention of this about like he talks about like it's basically that closed mouths don't get fed scenario, that situation. He's very much adamant about being upfront about even just from the point where, and he talks about this in part 2, chapter 2 a little bit, but in chapter 1 he talks about like his Instagram photographer who he coaxed into letting him walk up onto a water tower to take a picture, and it wasn't the fear, like he talks about and I don't know if this was like a sleight of hand situation, but he says he wasn't afraid to go up there anymore. He wasn't afraid that, because if you see a white person doing that, it'd be like, oh, that's some white people shit. We don't do that shit. Da 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 this, da da. And you could chalk it up to that. And he didn't leave that alone, but he wanted to go up there and do the picture. And when he did the picture, it wasn't the fear of falling. It wasn't the fear of his peers making fun of him. It wasn't even the fear of being stereotyped. It was the fear of losing something he truly valued that made him change his ways, which was his insurance company calling him and informing him his policy would be revoked if they ever saw some junk like that. So his, I think a lowbrow way of reading this chapter is seeing, you hear someone get shot 9 times, you hear someone make it through the drug ranks, you hear someone have multiple rap beefs, you hear someone do all this stuff, and you say to yourself, oh, he's fearless, he's untouchable. But if you're really paying attention to this, he's saying he controls what he allows to put fear into his heart, and that's more so from the realm of his financial standing and probably how he's publicly received. He cares more about his financials and his public appearance than he does about what people perceive as normal or common. And I think that's a big thing for a lot of people dealing with anxiety in today's day and age, or the fear of rejection, especially in today's society where we're told more often than not what we see on Instagram and social media is the norm, and we know for a fact it's just not. We know it's just not. But we still can't seem to trick ourselves out of it. So I just found that to be a great sleight of hand. If that was his intention, that's how I took it.
Yeah, you said closed mouths don't get fed. I got mentors all through what I do, and truthfully, like none of them would be my mentors if I ain't say nothing. Like that goes back to like when he went to the boxing gym. Like, I'm just gonna say something to this dude, and they gonna respect me for saying it. But that's partially because they see something in me. Like people not gonna spend time with you if they don't see nothing in you, but they never gonna see nothing in you if you don't say nothing. So was this the chapter where he was talking about don't come up to me and talking about you looking for a chance or opportunity, or that was a different one?
That's chapter 3.
That's chapter 3, but it ties in perfectly here with what he's saying. Like, too often I think, and I that resonated with me because too often in my life I've tried to sell my ideas to people I know. The people I know believe in me. They're just broke. So I need to get a bunch of people who have money to believe in me. That's what I have to do. Like, and then I come back to my people and say, hey, I have a job for you now. So we can all make money.
Right.
So like, this was something that like plagued me and tormented me for so long because I took it as a form of rejection. Like, oh, you guys don't trust me. You guys don't. No, my people I know are broke, and that's okay. It's good to have a broad spectrum of people in your. Some of my best friends are broke little kids. Like, oh yeah, JB, you know, you got 3 of them, 3 brokest people in your life right now. Your best friend.
I know, right? Broke.
And then the last thing he kind of leaves off in chapter 1, moving on, is he talks about his friend the mogul, and why his friend didn't make it. But like, I was curious to know, who is this guy? Do you know who he's talking about?
He didn't say their name.
He didn't mention their name. He didn't say their name, but I figured based on
think of who it could be.
Yeah, who it could be. You know who I thought it was?
He never really talks about nobody, but the same group of people, Eminem and Dre.
Yeah, but I thought
he said he got a friend that's want to be a mogul, but never.
Oh, okay, yeah, because he wasn't opening his mouth.
Yeah, but do you know who that guy was? Can you guess?
No,
I don't know who that is.
Do you think? Okay,
I was trying to think of who it could be, but
what about the game?
They ain't friends.
No, and it wasn't him though.
So it wouldn't be him either. Yeah, it wouldn't be him.
Okay,
because he gonna speak up.
Yeah.
All right.
But he also said how smart he was. Game is not that like. He ain't dumb, but he ain't like he not gonna speak like that.
He was talking about them being an expert in the field that they was talking about too. So I don't know what he was talking about.
Okay. All right. Chapter 2, The Heart of a Hustler. This was super interesting to me because he starts off with a great prologue about the first ever female oil company leader, and he talks a lot about the women in his life and the roles they play. He's offhandedly mentioned his social media manager, his booking manager, and one other person, and now this oil lady are all people that he truly values and respects, which was also something that I took heed to. But he talks about how this lady, against all odds, in a male-dominated section, came in and took it, and how his notion of what he took from her is no excuses, and no excuses need to be made about stuff we already know. Yeah, the system is rigged against you. Yeah, you're in a dominated sport where you're not supposed to belong. Yeah, you're going to have imposter syndrome. We already know those excuses. Do you have anything that's bothering you that we can actually help you with? Because you're not going to solve racism or sexism or any of those things today. So what can you do that's going to get you closer to what you want to be? And I found this to be fascinating because it is an over-reliance, I believe, on projecting issues in our society without really acknowledging what we can do with those issues. Like, my patient says he doesn't want to have a black healthcare provider today. Do I wash my hands and go home? Like, no, there's still other things for me to do. So I just found that to be a great opening for this. What's something other than the race, the social stigma that is holding you back, that you can control, that you feel you need help with, or that is in your way? Do we have those type of things? I think for me, a big thing for me is kind of having the idea and vision, and then getting from idea to paper, moving things from ideas to your mind and putting it on paper so that it can start actually being worked on. It was one of my biggest hurdles starting out, the lack of focus. What you got, JV?
Probably the same thing for most people, which is procrastination. And part of that come with a clear goal, clear vision. right? So like when you say I got an idea, I got an idea that I'm trying to put together. It's like, okay, the idea, how do we take the idea from that to implementation? So sometimes the procrastination ain't truly procrastination, it's just the lack of the clear vision and the clear goal to even be able to implement something or execute.
What up, Black?
Yeah, same with lack of focus for me, and like that's the only thing that can beat me is my own focus and drive for it.
I think, and with that, I often say, like, if you have an issue, you got to come with the resolve as well. One thing that I've started implementing into helping me focus is this basically this allotted time where I'm going to, no matter what the world is demanding of me, I'm going to make an hour minimum to dedicate towards that idea. And from that came like this evolving issue where then I realized the true issue I have isn't with my self promotion and stuff like this, is I need to hire a social media manager. Like I need to hire someone to do this so that I can actually take time and focus to make the quality stuff that I need to make. And it was the biggest like shock to me because I didn't think that was the issue. I thought the issue was, oh, I'm not hustling hard enough, I'm not working hard enough, I'm not focused enough. An hour isn't enough time for me to create the content I need. No, the truth is, I just can't do it. And you gain, and from it's crazy how like you went out on this journey looking for an answer and you came back with the resolve of like a weakness. What's up?
I wouldn't say that you can't do it. You're not willing to commit the time that's necessary to be able to do it adequately. So I'm like in the process of hiring an HR manager. I can do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not willing to dedicate the time to doing it because like it's not of enough interest to me. I got the idea, right? I'm running the business. I got plenty of other things I want to do. And dedicating an hour to HR is just, it's not gonna work.
But I don't think you should be in control of HR as being the boss, because and you like
some people do it very well. I am
you are not some people.
I'm not some people in that space.
I wouldn't do that because I like outside is always best when it comes to that stuff, especially when you grow a friendship with your coworkers and people that work for you.
Yeah,
HR is the best thing to happen, boy, because they ain't your friend or nothing. They ain't nobody friend.
Yep. That's gonna be my new thing. Hey, call HR. I know she ain't gonna do nothing but call me and ask me what I want, but that's that degree of separation that you need, especially when you run a small business.
No, a great buffer, a great buffer to have, honestly. Breaking habits was another big topic here. It kind of shocked me to hear how much we hear. Well, he's a hypocrite, but at the same time, like I can't knock him. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, but he does promote and push a lot of this. But this is a common trope that we see in the rap community.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't drink regularly. He drinks, just not regularly like everybody else, like every day. He drinks for like events, but he's not gonna drink a lot.
He don't drink to get drunk.
Yeah, and he's not an alcoholic, but he drinks. He don't smoke, but he's never ever said he smoked. He always been saying that he didn't smoke since he first came out.
I just find it strange because it's the duality, right? Master P told your kid left, right, left. His kid went to Princeton and Cornell, and like Snoop Dogg's kids are doing something. But we have this genre of rappers, these boomer rappers who are now actually parents and handing off the nepotism babies. And it's like one of these things, like what was it recently? Like towards the end of last year, T.I.'s kid was in a lot of social media debates because he was acting real tough and acting real hard, and like it was like, bro, we saw you grow up on TV. There's nothing tough about you. Like so there was a lot of pushback there. Do we have any beef with him? Kind of trying to set the tone. I feel like he's trying to book wash his previous behaviors because he's probably in front of a group of people who probably only saw him as, yo, you bragged about pushing dope as a 12-year-old, my guy. Like now you're condemning people who decide to have a drink or two.
Didn't he say that in his book? He said he don't knock anybody for smoking or drinking. He just said he don't.
Yeah, but
he said his point in this chapter, I think, was more so focused on like, don't let it be the thing that's hindering you from getting to where you got to go. Because he was saying that like even today, like a lot of rappers that smoke or drink or whatever, to say like that's what they need to get into their zone.
Into the zone.
And he said, like, if it's like, what if somebody pop up on you, like Dr. Dre, somebody want to do a song, and you be like, oh no, I can't do it right now. I gotta have a drink, or you gotta send somebody out, and they only got a certain amount of time, and you're not able to do it. So now you're missing your progress because you need that type of push for you to do it. But Dr. Dre wasn't a good name. I've heard interviews about Dr. Dre. And nigga, it don't matter fucking how long you think you gonna be in the studio. He gonna have you in that studio for like the whole day straight. Because they say Dr. Dre how you repeating one or two words over and over in different ways for your song. So you gonna have enough time to go get your drink. Because Dr. Dre gonna be in there with you for a year.
Is he sort of like obsessed with his craft, or is he just not as good as people are saying? Like, is this a bad thing?
No, he's obsessed. He's super obsessed.
Okay.
He's super obsessed with his craft because they say he been doing that since back in NWA.
Yeah, it's before that. Yeah.
You seen the Straight Outta Compton movie, how he had Eazy-E rapping differently a bunch of times.
Yeah. Like try it this way. Yeah. All right, say it like this.
That's fascinating, actually, to hear, because you always like what day was it? Who was I shocked to find out could play the guitar? I think I was shocked to see 2 Chainz pick up a guitar and start playing, and he started playing off the F scale, and I was just like, fucking 2 Chainz can play the guitar? Like, you just don't realize that, like, they know music so well.
You ain't think Titty Boy was an artist?
Titty Boy, multifaceted.
God, it definitely caught me off guard.
He was famous for 2 names, so you know he fucking could do something.
Gotta be something.
Scarface pulled that motherfucker out in the Tiny Desk too.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Or like, I think the one that always catches people off guard is when for the first time when everybody was like, well, I don't know why people thought this, but hearing T-Pain sing without autotune blew people's minds away for some reason.
People like, he can really sing.
I feel like that's like how you know people don't listen to, because even on his first album he sung without autotune.
Yeah, he sang without autotune on the first album, but you know.
He just made a whole group of people that can only sing on auto-tune. Like, he just created a bunch.
But they give him that. They give him that as if Computer Love didn't come out 30 years before before he came out.
That's
songs like that. Like the auto-tune thing is crazy to me. There was songs back in the day with that shit.
Another great topic that they mention here is get it back on the next one. This one was fascinating to me because I feel like he's the king of petty, so he always has to have the last word. But in this, he kind of starts to illustrate that if, say for example, he knew his weed man hit him up and he gave him some bad weed or some bad dope, he wasn't going to
go. Coke.
I was trying to keep it a little bit PG friendly. I don't know, maybe black. Maybe Black. Maybe I read the book with you, and I was just thinking, hey, maybe if I want to post this later. You know, maybe.
But if like as people that sell drugs, weed, it's not hard to know when it's bad. And motherfucker will definitely a lot of times try to try it out.
No, for sure.
You know weed gonna be bad.
So the thing he made a reference to it
because you ain't no coke addict.
Yeah, he made a great reference about how he in the shows and in the music they say go back and teach him and hold him out, but he was like, that will get you into a situation where things might not end up in your favor. It's best to pull back, re-strategize, regroup, and try and get it back on the next one. What situation have you found yourself trying to get it back on the next one versus, probably taking the path of more resistance?
and I sell insurance for a living, so every day, man, every day.
But like, you ever found yourself in that situation?
Get it back. Nah, that ain't my thing. A lot of things I look at it as if I ain't gonna do it unless I can live without it. So most of the time, I ain't worried about getting it back. You know what I mean? But I feel like if somebody do me wrong, like I ain't been done wrong where I ain't, got it back right away. But I don't really try to put myself in those type of situations.
Yeah, I think the only time I ever felt. Go for it.
No, I was just gonna say outside of the, I think like his message that I took from it was really like just being able to take a loss. Like,
loss,
you ain't always gotta come out on top, man. You're not gonna always come out on top. Like, things gonna happen, but what's your action steps afterwards? Yeah. How do you recover?
I definitely got the message though. I understand it, but like I'm saying, I don't necessarily put myself in that situation.
It just takes me back to
like
my
I said,
NFL
I take
times.
a loss every week.
Yeah. It ain't a loss when you fucking.
It's an experience.
Like in your business,
it's an experience.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say it's an experience though. It's just you just at work. You gonna win some. Like you heard what folks say, you gonna win some, you gonna lose. But I don't say it's a loss unless you have a client and then lose the client. But if you don't have them and you're trying to get them and you don't get them, that's not a loss. It's just you not getting that client.
I was talking more so in the dynamics of when people underperform and you still gotta pay them a paycheck.
Yeah.
Right.
So when they overperform, do you pay? So look, so this is what was that? Earlier?
I'm gonna get my get back on.
Like on Mr. D's, like when that football player come in yelling about his money because he did so good this season, and he asked him like, so if you don't play as well next season, do I pay you less? And he was like, hell no. And he was like, yeah, like exactly. So when you do well or better than expected, why should I pay you more when I don't pay you less?
Well, this is why incentive pay is always nice. Yeah. Like salary is great, but there's nothing like being promised a 50% bonus for a objective number. Like yeah, that's gonna drive the game winner for me. Like, and I think somebody said this to me one time. I was doing a nurse's eval, and she looked me up in that. She looked me square in the face, and I was like, "Yeah, you didn't take any extra call days. You didn't take anything, so I'm gonna just have you as meet expectations." And she was like, "Sounds great." And I was like, "But like," she was like, "But," I was just like, "But like, why don't you want to do more? Like, you could definitely move up in the ranks. You could move to charge nurse. You could probably move to lead nurse." She was like, "I don't want that. I just want to come in, do my job, be told what to do, and go home." And I always found that to be fascinating because she came to my team from another manager's team who called her lazy. And I was like, man, from 9 to 5, she's going to do exactly what I tell her. But if it's 5:01, it's a lost cause. It's like talking to a void. She won't even hear me. So you got to just respect people's hustle.
Yeah, it's a certain segment of people that you need those people in the world. You just can't work around me being like that though. I can't do that because that's just not how life works.
I don't know, like, and maybe because like we've never been in a situation where we needed her to do something more. But I think she's like the way she has it set up is perfect. Like. We know if I have an emergency, I know I can't rely on her. So she's never an option. She's kind of set it up perfectly. And the thing about it is she does the second part even better. When it's time for bonuses or when people are talking about pay discrepancies, she don't say a goddamn word. And I'm just like, well, yeah, she knows exactly what she needs and wants, and she gets it.
Yeah, you ain't gonna find too many people that ain't gonna have the second part though.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They definitely have an opinion on the second part. That takes me back to one of my first meetings. I was like, wait a minute, you were late yesterday. What are you talking about? Like, if you showed up on time, you would have a full check right now, regardless of the pay bonus. But neither here nor there.
Had this conversation Friday. It's crazy.
It's wild. It's actually wild. The last thing in chapter 2, he talks about betting on you. I think this is fascinating because you should always put your bet on yourself and what you want to do. I think I tell this to a lot of people early on in their careers. It's not my job to tell you you're not qualified. I mean, it's not my job to tell them that I'm not qualified. It's their job to figure that out. It's their job to figure out if I'm worth the money they want to pay me. But I'm not. I'm never going to be out here trying to tell myself I'm not the most qualified dude for this position. That's on them. Like I think like I got a request for AI machine learning exam, and I asked the person what's the prep time on this or what's the category on this, and they said we don't really have any categories or prep time on this. And I was just like, so you just want me to take a random test with no context clues or understanding of what the test is about? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, well, I think that's a bad test, so I won't be taking it. And they were just like, okay, that's fine. And then I looked, and they were like, we'll find someone else. And I was like, no, you won't. This job has been out on the market for 7 months. I can see how long when you posted it. Like, who are you? What are you trying to accomplish here? And they just kind of like, but it's just proof that this isn't the right company for me, right? So, but is there anything here about like you want to leave here like betting on yourself? Like, is there a scenario?
Man, that's my whole 2023. I moved to Georgia, opened my office. People think I'm crazy. I spend a lot of money on this opportunity, but that's just what it takes. I took a page out of Donald Trump. Took a small loan from my pops of $1 million so I could get my business going. So it wasn't $1 million, and it wasn't from my pops.
Small loan. Black, what about betting on yourself?
When I left the Marine Corps, that was the biggest bet on myself because fucking they had most career military members are always trying to make it seem like ain't nothing out there for you, and you won't leave and can't find nothing to do nothing because this is the example they got from I don't fucking know what because they ain't never left. So I always used to say that they used to be like, yeah, there's nothing out there. I'm like, how do you know, man? You ain't even left. You come straight from high school, and then you fucking stayed for your whole time. You don't know what's out there.
Could you imagine still?
And ain't nobody reaching back up on you to tell you how well they doing because it's most time motherfucker like that a person ain't gonna like. Well, they're not gonna reach back to a person they don't like unless they want to throw it in their face.
Could you imagine like having your high school ideologies be the remaining ideologies for the rest of your life?
No, I couldn't. But I know it's a lot of people like that. Unfortunately,
high school for a lot of people was like fucking the best time of their life.
Does it bother you when people like reminisce about high school too much?
Only thing that bothers me about high school is when people tell my stories.
They hit me up the other day.
They don't even sound like I went out with some friends, and their girlfriend described me as like high school. It was like, I heard you were just so crazy. I'm like, what the? I'm fucking 30 something.
I got a mortgage.
Like it. I'm like,
I got a mortgage.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm a family man. Fucking, like she like because we have a conversation like. I did not think you would be like that. When he told me about you, I thought you were just gonna be like. I'm like, that's crazy shit.
That's a
like people still see you. People still see you that kind of way though.
Yeah,
like, 15 years ago. That's crazy.
Nah, man, I wasn't even the same in senior year as I was. Well, I wasn't the same junior year that I was in sophomore year. That's when I was like junior year. I'm like, man, that shit is all. A lot of this shit just ain't for me no more, and I just stopped doing a lot of shit. But fucking I don't live in the past. I ain't even the same person I was yesterday.
my man's is evolving or die. that's the truth of the moment. Evolve or die. All right, chapter 3 it is. This one I think is the most important. It talks about the crew, building a team around you. I think like especially kudos to Black for being able to conjure up uh, the four elements that he could to make Captain Planet in this book club. But it's important, like how important this is. I think a lot of people don't, and especially for men who have a hard time connecting to the world. You show me a guy that's socially like who has poor social skills, and I'll show you a guy who doesn't talk to other men, who doesn't have a group of men to confide in. And I often tell men, like a lot of men, we all here. It's not like this is like a therapy session where you got to tell every day's problems, but you just need to be able to ask the pertinent questions of your life to certain people. And I think this book club has done a great job of being able to, when able to, not everything's on camera, not everything's recorded, but when we're able to talk about just what life is for us and what it means for us to be able to be men here. So like, as this is my cohort of people that I rely on to kind of make sure I'm in the right mental space. Am I hearing this correctly? This is the only time I'll see three successful other Black people in my day-to-day working. Like I work with a predominantly group of women or white men, so like this is the only time I get to see three successful Black men in one space. So this is a great place for me to be like, am I in the right center? Is my mind where it's supposed to be? What are your thoughts on building a proper crew?
I think the way that he was kind of laying it out, I don't even remember buddy name that he sent back home.
Yeah, the rapper.
Yeah, the one that still to this day. Yeah, the one still to this day blaming him for how his life turned out.
Yeah,
like somebody else.
It's always easier that way though. Like,
yeah.
you can overlook a lot of your stuff. You're supposed to take. That's why I always say take
full accountability.
You take partial blame, at least partial blame for everything that happens in your life. Anything that goes on in your life, you are partly to blame, if not most of the time, fully to blame.
I do that in all of my in my team meetings with my team, and like they talking to me and they like pointing the finger and blaming. I said I always stop them like, so where's the self-awareness and self-accountability? Because I ain't hearing nothing but like finger pointing and blaming. Like you're not gonna get nowhere like that. We're gonna be doing the same conversation in a month, having this conversation. But go ahead.
No, you can finish.
No, I was gonna go back to what 50 was talking about. What you was gonna say?
No, I'm saying as far as constructing your crew, like for me, I don't remove people from who I fuck with. I just fuck with everybody on different levels. So I ain't one of them people that be like, yeah, when you make it, you gotta leave everybody behind. Yeah. I look, I still got hood friends. I just ain't going to go sit on the corner with them. They can come hang with me when I have certain events, but I ain't going to where they at. They can always come up to where I'm at or wherever I'm at to do better. Just do something different. But I'm not about to go grab a gun and post up nowhere, or just be in a situation like that. So I ain't gotta lose them as far as I'm just losing a part of their life.
Yeah.
You just ain't gonna take that with me. Like I ain't never gotta cut nobody off because I'm doing better. Because how the fuck do you get better without being around people that's doing better?
In his particular profession, though he did, that made sense to me. Like, man, they not finna keep booking me if y'all keep acting crazy. And I gotta make it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he gave you the opportunity. That's on you to fuck it up.
Right.
When like he was saying, like he wanted to take everybody with him. That's why he bought Tyson Crib. He wanted to take everybody with him. But like his ex, like fucking he took care of her and whatever. And then when he wanted her to get a job, then that's when they fucking broke up. And then started blaming everything on him. Like, you gotta do something because we can't live in the times that the old folks lived in. Because even like older Black generation where they had the man take care of everything, when he dies, everything falls on that wife that never works. And now she's about to lose the house and ain't nothing to pass down to the kids. Why we got generations and generations of people with nothing from their old folks. Like we're the only one of the only people like that in America.
He talks about that extensively. Yeah.
When our older people die, we don't get shit but they bills. So when that old nigga die and he take care of everything and everybody, you don't got nothing.
They need some life insurance, bro. All the old people in my family got life insurance now, so we get some. Somebody getting something.
Somebody, at least you leaving with something, or you not.
I saw some old man on the interview talking about what they do right before they're about to die. Like when they retire and everything, they get a bunch of life insurance policies and they take equity loans out on their house and all type of shit. So they spend and do whatever they want to do before they die. And when they die, they insurance hit them up and they pay all that shit off or whatever and then they got everything and they still set.
Yeah. It's a whole strategy out there for how to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, like all of the stuff that I took out on my business, I still got like life insurance to cover all of that, plus everything else that I got going on. But then, like kind of like Black said, when you retire, like I'm not finna spend my assets and my money. Give me some more money to spend. I'm gonna get some more life insurance to take care of that and keep pushing.
Mm. Yeah, but when I retire, I'm be gone anyway. So,
but back to the whole building a crew thing. I just think that's important. Like you see it. I mean, you see it in a lot of different facets. Like I guess it's all over social media. But certain people that's trying to grow and build, they image and a lot of different things. Like I've seen people be very successful at it based on the people that's around them. And then I've seen people on the other end, like they can't figure out why they ain't going nowhere. And it's a lot of times it's based on the people around you. So
yeah,
I'm in the process of building a team for myself in my office. And
do you think it's the people that are around you or the people that's there that you count on?
Yeah, that's man, and I kind of took that a different approach. I went with the approach.
They can be there if you ain't counting on them to do nothing. They still just there.
They just there. There's sometimes you just want people who are just there to support you. There's just people who are there supposed to just witness you. Like not everyone has to serve a role. It's crazy because like even with me streaming and coding and stuff like that. There's people that have never spent a dime on any of my assets or anything that like merchandise. It's just them being there with me on this journey that makes me feel like happy or feel like I'm not doing this alone. So I think a lot of people like take that for granted because the part that kind of caught me off guard was like, who do you put in your team versus who you have to start your team with? Like when you're born into your family, you don't have a choice. But like if you can make it to a point where you can then choose who's in your circle, you've acquired enough to be able to make that. A lot of people don't get that choice, don't get to choose or make that decision.
And but this I don't know if this got nothing to really do with it, but with motherfuckers just being around you, let them know that they just around. Instead of just when they there, like you make it or something, they feel like they was a part of it. Like like let them know from the jump. You just here. You ain't done shit. You ain't doing nothing. You just like, there. So like, we made it. Like, be like, all right, I made it, my nigga. But I mean, calm down, because you had no real input. You was just there. Cause mother, that's how mother leave and try to sue you. Like I was there the whole ride. Like I told her from the jump. You better find you something to do, my nigga, because you ain't helping me. You just there. Like, well, what's the name? You went with me shooting at the gym? Bitch, you ain't getting a motherfucking thing.
70%. What is the number, Hero? You probably know it better than me. 70% of athletes go broke after 5 years.
Oh yeah, 5 years. 5 years. I think in the NFL.
You talking about all athletes or just the NFL?
No, NFL. NFL before 2017, that number was 80%. And then like in 2020 to 2023, it dropped down to like 75. I think this year it's going to drop down even more to like 68%. But this also
how much they're making now.
No, exactly.
No, because of what people like. They listening to people that talk about their money too.
No. Also, but a significant thing that they've also increased how many more people you can have on the practice squad. So you just have more people who are capable of failing now. That is what's also skewing the number.
But they don't. Everybody in the NFL ain't making a crazy amount of money.
No, hell no.
Some of us that's barely making a couple $100,000, right?
No, there's literally Brock Purdy, the premier quarterback going to the Super Bowl, has a
roommate. $800,000.
His roommate is literally the center. They live together. He has a roommate in San Fran. That man living in San Fran can't make enough off a NFL quarterback salary.
But that's but when is his contract up so we can re-up?
He getting money now.
Somebody's making sure he's 24-hour security. Like somebody's making sure he's straight for sure.
Yeah, Brock straight now.
Yeah, but like in the beginning of the season, no. But week 5, he was not doing all right. Let's keep it straight. Week 5, he was not okay.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part about it, because especially like on football, all your shit ain't guaranteed.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And it's different type of guarantees.
Y'all don't even got lifetime health care, do y'all?
You got to make it 10 years.
You got to make it 10 years. Yeah.
But that's 10 years within the NBA too.
Which is insane, though.
It's insane.
Think about the
NFL, that's insane.
NFL,
10 years?
It's insane for the NFL.
The average career in the NFL is only like
7.
Yeah, I was just because most of the people that's playing are getting hit. Running backs, wide receivers, linemen, they all actually taking pressure. Only one that's gonna damn near definitely make it is the quarterback.
It's the quarterback. Like
he only gonna get hit a couple times a year.
No, actually, the person who makes it the most is the kicker. The kicker.
Oh yeah, the kicker.
The kicker, and it's usually is either an off. I think it's the quarterback, offensive lineman, and then the deep snapper, whoever the long snapper is. Who's also usually
like 10 years.
That's a skill though. You gotta be able to see that ball come. You gotta catch that bit properly and sit it down while this nigga running up. And if it's set off a little bit, you fuck him up.
Hey, well, it's in the Pro Bowl skills challenge. So
it's in the skills challenge, for sure. And that's usually the third or second string quarterback. They need somebody with a good touch. But also, if you miscue, you kicking somebody's hand. Like that's a lot of risk for a small reward, 3 points. All right,
I think it's 10 for the NBA too, because Charles Barkley was just pushing for Tony Snell, because he got kids with Down syndrome.
Yeah, but he can get that. Like even if he gets signed next year, they was making it seem like he just gonna run out of time. Like even if he gets,
I'm just saying like he ain't signed now, so what makes the
he ain't signed now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like so, it's 40 games left. Folks say just sign him now for them 40 games.
Yeah, 40 games.
Give vet minimum
40 games,
and he can play.
Yeah. All right,
but as a business owner, when they go through so much, bro, they ain't worried. Like they gotta worry about themselves also. Yeah, so that's the crazy part, because the NBA players get a lot of shit that nobody else get. And the business owner be getting screwed a lot of times, especially when the motherfuckers this past couple of years, motherfuckers just getting traded back to back. Durant now. Yeah, they got something for their ass.
That's why they hit him with that 65 game minimum, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna play.
we gonna see you play.
But that's only for like MVPs and shit like that, which Durant ain't really trying to get.
But that's gonna affect your money though. If you can't get all NBA, that's $20 million if you never go all NBA. So you gonna play.
Yeah, you got
but this nigga Brian doing that shit 21 years. He okay. He don't need to go all NBA again. Like he number one pick for the captain for the fucking West right now. Like calm down, nigga.
That's a publicity stunt. Who else would you pick from the West? Who else would you pick?
The crazy part, Steph isn't even in the starting lineup.
Reserves. He reserved.
Well, Steph is the only functioning player on the Warriors team. Do they even have a start? Do they even have it? They don't have no one else. He dropped 60 and they lost.
And they lost.
Steph
Curry. That's like I thought. I'm like, this is how you know they old, because ain't no way in hell.
That ain't never happening, bro.
I don't even know if Steph ever scored over 50 and lost.
And lost.
Or 40 and lost. Like,
usually when he score over like 40, they blowing somebody out.
Yeah, the game's over. Oh my goodness.
Nobody else on the team gonna score 10 other. I saw that the other day. I was sad. I was
sad.
Like, Steph, go ahead and go to the Lakers, my boy.
Hey, where's Draymond? Is Draymond playing yet?
They say he playing. He ain't doing shit.
Oh,
like he was before he was.
Okay, Draymond been back hitting threes, so.
But if Draymond's hitting threes, that's a problem.
He ain't hit enough on him.
Yeah, if Draymond's, we learned that the hard way. If Draymond's scoring threes, and the people you pay to make threes aren't, that's a problem. When
Draymond was making threes, everybody was hitting their threes. So that was the problem. That's when they went unstoppable, when they winning 60-some games a year because of that. But now
73.
Yeah,
But
just
now
take
it's over with, man.
that L to get their L
Yeah,
back.
because Draymond out here losing his temper and shit.
Losing his temper.
I said years ago, bro. I said years ago before Clay got hurt and they got their championships. I'm like, he need to go to another team so he can make him some money and he get a different type of role. Now
They
he's
messed
hurt.
up.
Now he's hurt and he ain't about to be able to go nowhere. But we gotta wrap this up.
Oh yeah, last part. Okay, this is the last part I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about some bad misinformation here. He brings up Dr. Sebi and Nipsey Hussle and how like there was this overarching conspiracy about how this one. I like that he calls out the fact that look, wasn't no FBI, CIA psyops. It was some hater on the block who killed Nipsey Hussle. But the motion he made to Dr. Sebi, his name is Alfonso Bozeman. He is not a doctor. I wish people would stop saying that about him. Like they would just need to do. You can definitely have your holistic beliefs about medicine, whatever you want. But the fact that the U.S. government didn't decide to pursue a con artist, which is what he is, because if you know him, you know where he's from. Alfonso Bozeman.
I don't know him.
You do know him. You just know him by his alias. You do know him.
You know him as Dr. Sebi.
You know him as Dr. Sebi.
That's not Dr. Sebi the man. Dr. Sebi the man.
Hey, you can definitely call him the man, but like once again, it's just that lack of because this is the duality I have. He's willing to call out that people have this false sense narrative, don't understand how Nipsey Hussle died. But he's not willing to do a little bit more research to figure out that Alfonso Bozeman is this con artist.
Nah, bro. Nah. I feel like you hating on him.
I mean,
that's your job. Y'all job is to practice, but that nigga was out here, bro. You see directly a week after the nigga died, they got that little fake ass that little pill that you can take and have sex with people with HIV.
I mean, but anybody would you could do if you just looked past 4 days, just because it came up in the news in your algorithm doesn't mean it hasn't been in everyone else's algorithm for months, for years.
What? No, you talking about that pill? No, that pill was being promoted directly a week after that nigga died, because it was on commercials like a week after he died.
Yeah, but
now mind you, now they can have kids. You can have HIV and have a kid without HIV. Come on now, bro.
I mean, I don't
even know what pill we talking about.
They got these sex pills, right? Well, not necessarily sex pills, but they promoted basically for that. But they promoted to gay people. But it's on commercials on every regular black TV show, regular TV channel, VH1, MTV. It comes on and they got gay people in commercials together. And this is how it's a little biased on the promotion, but they basically saying how they can be gay and not catch HIV by taking these pills and having sex with somebody. As long as you taking the pill.
So what this got to do with Alfonso Bozeman, aka Dr. Sebi? I'm so lost.
Okay, but before he died, he supposedly had the cure that he was going to put out for HIV.
Got you.
And he went black. So you know how motherfucker when you got something that's going to disrupt any medical field, they gonna be out to your ass. And supposedly he took that and he took $30,000 cash. And he wasn't moving around with none of his info like they can trace him with. Boom, then he just end up dying. I don't fuck with conspiracies like that. Y'all know that, but I fuck with Dr. Sebi, man.
Hey, I know this is
that was all bullshit.
I know for Black this is a touchy subject, so I wasn't gonna.
Yeah, even with the sickle cell shit with the black girl that found the cure for that shit here, and she's from Chicago. They tried to the way they make it seem like it's just not in existence and it's not available or something now. Because they got pills for it now, but that helps you with your sickle cell. But what happened to them with the cure? Because that cure was on the news.
Mm.
It wasn't just fucking. It just came out, but it just seemed like they put it on the news. They found it, and everything was good. But then after that, they just stopped mentioning it. I'm like, what the hell happened to this black lady? Where the fuck is she at? Why she should be a billionaire?
I don't know a lot about medical and science, but
yeah,
because I do know about stem cells, I'm like everything should be curable. But that's just my thought process.
Or not even just curable. For me, how the fuck you just not get it? Where did this shit come from that you could just get some shit all the time? All these created as I think most of that shit is man made. I don't think they got the shit in the air for us, but I feel like a lot of shit is just man made.
Man, I don't know, like it's one of those things where it's like when people say like, oh, this was man made. Like I don't think people understand like how hard it is for a thing of that magnitude to be held under wraps and then pushed out like so secretive. Like the world isn't as like
this motherfucker.
I mean, like we know that was man made though. That was tested on a group.
Yeah, but we also don't know that like that shit was kept under wraps and then it just came up. It wasn't like that they was blatantly outright saying, "Look, hey, black people, let's give y'all all syphilis and see how long it take y'all to die from certain shit. Like I'm gonna give you certain pills, see if you die. I'm gonna not give you pills, see if you die. You're gonna eat certain shit, see if you die." It's a lot of shit that they do to people, bro.
But I think like and that's why I think that like that's one of the biggest lessons that I learned while I was in school. You don't trust the people. You have to be able to trust the science. The science doesn't lie. The people do. Like so, and that's where like
fuck up some science too. Like let's say you have some type of formula, and it's perfect to do certain shit. But once it gets to somebody else's hands, somebody has switched some of the algorithm up, and now your formula kills people, and you like, what the fuck? Now that's not what the fuck I sent you. And now you got to go through years of research to figure out they changed some shit in your formula.
No, trust me. Then once again, that's why we need people on both sides of the field. We need people who understand the science, who can deal with the science. Do you feel me? We need somebody on every corner. Spook this up out of the door. But that was the last thing I took from chapter 3. Is there anything else we want to throw out there, Black?
We'll probably touch on it next week.
Next week.
Black. Jeremiah got something.
Yeah, Jeremiah.
I read into chapter 4, so I'm probably gonna spoil something. So I'm gonna just chill.
I didn't even read. Don't spoil some shit. Go watch that. Go watch American Fiction. I think it was a great movie.
I love that movie, bro. It was
really good. It's really good
because it really points out to how shit is, especially like with reality TV shows. Because I hate those, bro. But black people love reality TV shows. And I can't stand that shit.
Can't stand that shit. But it's great. Definitely. Well, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining up. Once again, this is the Books and Beyond.
Hey, you knock out for a couple, like real quick though, Jeremiah. I want to talk to the hero about that movie.
Yeah.
Please.
Peace.
What? Like, okay, at the end of the movie, like when they fucking picking the author of the year and whatnot, and she's getting mad at his book, like her book wasn't the same fucking type of book. I'm like, come on.
No, but you want to know why she was mad? Because she did the research. Because
her book wasn't.
She did the research to make that book specifically the way it was. I don't think she is that person. I think she did the research. She studied it. She read the book. She interviewed people, and she did the work so she could speak like that. And that's why she was upset, because he just lied. She actually spent time learning this vernacular.
No, her other book wasn't like that, bro. Like she just, only thing that was different for her is she used her real name and not an alias. But for the most part,
but that's not her story. But that's not her story. She
people lie about their story to sell a book too, they do their album.
No, but I could see where she was coming from. Only because like if I write a story and I say like, yo, I'm basing this off of true events that I've researched, that I've spent time with, and I'm impersonating someone from the story, I'm doing that as a tribute to the honesty of the story.
But you know it was a fiction book though. It wasn't a nonfiction book.
Was it nonfiction?
No.
I thought but she did it all. She said she was basing it off of research. So that's what made me say it was nonfiction.
Because she a nigga. You know how niggas try, bro, you trying to sell nigga shit to white people, bro. They love it. That's why they were saying like, oh my God, I love that book. He was so pissed about it.
No, okay, so that part, selling it, she definitely like upsold it. She definitely upsold it. But she made the book to purposefully connect with her target audience. Okay, so white Job people. Is saying, so everybody's like this. So, but like for me, the part where like she was arguing back and forth with him, I think like he was being more cynical. She actually found the book to be interesting. I thought like she cared about it. I think she cared.
No, she didn't like his book either, bro. She didn't like his book either.
She didn't.
But
like
she didn't like it for the. She didn't like his book for the same reason he didn't like his book, but he put it out just be like, this is what your book is too. And he was like, I'm finding it hard for me to see.
Yeah, that part I was confused about because I was under the impression
like,
I thought she was feeling some type of ways because she was calling it, like he was saying, this is clearly trash. But she was saying, well, no, my book was probably sold to look like that, but it was built off of research, hard work, and all of that. And that's why I thought she got mad. That part
I don't know. I feel like she was being honest. Like she had his same dislikes for the book. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's how you. But he was just mad because they fucked with it so hard.
They fucked with it so hard. It was so funny.
He almost fucked up his girl Maxine. I was like, oh, come on, bro. You can't fuck with Maxine.
Dude, he did fuck it up. He literally said he didn't.
But because of the end, we don't know if they got back together. And
he said that she never called him back.
Remember on the end, he kept rewriting the end. He rewrote the ending while we was watching it. Multiple times.
The only part that was being rewritten was the award ceremony. The real world because he said he never called her back. So see her. Because remember,
we didn't even see what happened after the reward. We didn't even see what happened after the reward because all that was being rewritten. So we don't know what happened after that day. So we don't even know if he ever got back to him.
But that's why I'm saying he didn't, because he said in the real time sitting next to the director, she never returned my call, so I don't know. He said that
was prior. Yeah, but that was also prior to all. Bro, we got to watch it again because that was all like when he was talking to dude, he was just rewriting that story over and over. Like
I felt like anytime we go back to the point where he was talking to the man, that's real world.
And then, like, I like how he was writing his book too. How they put it into like, as he was writing his book, them niggas would come up there and like
he said, "Hey, what we gonna say next?" He said, "What we say next?"
The movies, I was at the movie. I was at a date, and we was like fucking looking at it. And I'm like, I fuck with it, and then the end happened. I'm like, okay, because it wasn't reintroduced nowhere else throughout the rest of the movie, other than when he first started writing the book. I'm like, damn, why did they do that? And then just not do it ever again. But then they end up doing it again.
It was a great callback. It was a great callback. Wonderful callback. Yeah, it was. I was excited to see it. I was shocked, and that was because in the beginning I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh man, this here go this light skin. But you keep watching, and you find out like he wanted to be good at sports. He could never get good at sports. Like he just didn't have a way of finding out what was the dad's profession. Do you remember?
I saw that movie. I saw that movie when it was only in one theater, so I don't.
Because I had a belief that the dad. I remember he said that everyone in the family was some type of doctor. But him and his dad were so alike. I thought that the dad and him were both artists of some sort, because you see the classical music chart all over the house, but no one's a musician.
Was his dad a scientist?
My date was telling me, my girl was telling me that it was that he was a doctor, but I couldn't remember. It was like fucking.
Yeah, I can't even remember that. Now I'm gonna rewatch it. I'm gonna rewatch it at work tomorrow.
It was such a good movie. Like I was really shocked.
I like that movie.
There was a lot.
I like movies like that. I like movies like that to where you see black people do different shit.
Yeah.
I like that's why I like the Cosbys and Different World, because we don't have that in today's time as far as like teaching you like that you can be something other than just being a nigga. Like these reality shows, all they teaching you is to be a nigga. It don't matter what motherfucking reality show. It could be the fucking Basketball Wives, the Housewives of Orange County, the white people. All of it is directed towards niggas, and that's only people who really love that shit. Niggas and po people.
I hate it. I think it was a great duality because you had you had 3 generations of black women in the acting work, from Insecure, Living Single, and what's the one that who died of the heart attack? What's her name? Which one? What show was she in? Girlfriends.
It might. Oh, his sister.
Girlfriends, yeah.
Yeah.
So like
that was 3 generations.
3 generations, yeah.
But I don't even know if she a generation above her because they like she's not that much older than her. Cause what's her name? Tracy Ellis Ross is like a little younger than who was that? Jamie Foxx or whoever she was just in a movie with not too long ago. Cause they did an interview and they was talking about how he was coming to her house and she was just little Tracy and then she was talking shit like, you weren't that much older than me. You was just famous.
You was just famous. Yeah, I remember that interview.
Unless
the maid or the mother were like famous comedians too, but like I just thought that was super interesting and it was a great it was a part of me that was like, damn, they still taking care of their folks. You got 2 houses, can't keep the lights on, and there was that great scene when he came to the house and the lights were off and she already had the lantern. She was like, oh, this happens all the time, sweetie. Like, hey, some days we got it, some days we don't, but we gonna find a way. And I thought that was just so mind-numbing because that was a brickstone 7-bedroom house. And I looked up the house afterwards. That's a $500,000 house. No lights on. That shit blew my fucking mind, man. It was good. It was
crazy.
Good book.
It's crazy because especially having his brother doing all that, like people that actually make money but not using it properly.
Yeah. He literally blows his money away, literally.
But he also just lost his wife because he was gay.
Yeah, that's got to be a tough one right there.
Nah, that movie was good, bro. I love that movie.
That was good.
I gotta go. I'm late now. I should be at my mama's house now.
I see you. Appreciate you. Oh man, that's great.